Okay, here I am, 51. Today I'm 51. I was born on the 2nd of April 1968, and it's strange to think how fast time is flowing. And there is a fact that is kind of disturbing, that men in Norway or the West are living approximately for 80 years, which means I have 29 left. And it's not even the best years of my life. They might be behind me, physically anyway. Mentally, I think I have the best years in front of me, and that is a very good thing. And that's why I'm making this video, because I was made this who are you video. No, how are you? Sorry, how are you video. And I mentioned I might make a who are you video. And since it's my birthday, I thought it might be a good place to start, or good day to do it. So, who am I? Well, I am basically an animal. It sounds strange, doesn't it? I am a product of evolution, of the fact that there is a universe and probably a multiverse, which is infinite, which has no inherent meaning, purpose, it just is. I don't believe in an afterlife, so for me this is it. In infinity, I'm dropped into existence through my introspection and a big brain created by evolution. And I notice when that I intellectually know this to be true. There is no doubt about it. And basically also a little bit emotional. But there is something in us that can't accept it. Even when we think about death, we in some sense believe that there is going to be a sort of being, like it becomes dark. Well, it doesn't become dark. It wasn't dark before I was born. I just wasn't there. There were no universe. Correct me. I don't mean that the universe came into being when I was born. Of course, that would be ridiculous, because if that was true, evolution couldn't possibly happen and create this brain who are actually talking to you now, because it's my brain who are talking to you. Anyway, what I've noticed about this who am I thing, and it's a question I not often have experienced getting. Sometimes you get it from people who just want to be, who are you? You know, you just want to create a problem or put you down or something like that. But a couple of times I have genuinely gotten the question, who are you? And it always puzzles me. It's such a hard question to answer that I don't even know where to begin. So I can, as I said, begin with the end. I'm a product of, as I said, evolution. And it is the being conscious doesn't, we talk about consciousness like everybody's conscious. And I remember a time where I wasn't that conscious. I wouldn't be able to ask these questions I'm asking now, because I didn't have the experience or the depth or the time for the neurons to connect and to create this web of what is now becoming me, or has been becoming me. And I always noticed that for every time I kind of went into some kind of depression or something bad happened, I learned basically more about myself than in any other situation. And the last time I experienced this was 5 or 6 years ago, when I fell deeply in love with a girl, and it wasn't her brilliant, perfect personality I fell in love with, it was actually her biology. And I had been stressed done a lot of mistakes before that, and I broke some hearts, and I was tired, and this thing deteriorated very fast because I couldn't really accept losing the control, and yeah, many things, and yeah. Anyway, what happened was that I experienced myself from the outside, and I could actually watch myself struggle. I knew what was actually happening in my brain, but I couldn't choose between the person who wanted to get the fuck out of there, don't focus on this girl, and the one who just wanted her because of pure biological reasons. You know, being in love has nothing to do with love. Love is what you feel for your children and good friends or parents or people you actually are love. And that's a totally different kind of love. I have loved girls that I haven't been able to become in love with, and I still love these girls because they were great, but I didn't fall in love, so I couldn't take the next step and give myself to them. And here comes this along, and it just total meltdown on the addiction level, you can say. It was kind of addiction. Anyway, that was the last time I was dipped down into darkness, and it took me 3 or 4 years to. There were other things happen too, so there was many things happening at the same time that resulted in this emotional anhedonia that happened. But what I noticed was, despite that at some point I didn't feel anything. If somebody put a gun to my brain and asked me if they want to pull the trigger, I would have said, nah, it might be a good idea. I wasn't suicidal, but I didn't really care. But what I noticed, or maybe I did care, it's very hard to know yourself. So what I noticed is I became a better painter. And I became a deeper person. I also saw much better how I had treated other girls with holding them back with one hand and pushing them away with the other hand and driving them basically nuts. You shouldn't treat people like that. You should say yes or no. You shouldn't hold on to people because you kind of need them, or you don't want to let them go, but you don't really want to give yourself. Don't do that. It's not nice. And I started to see these things. I saw them I did know it from before, but it became so much deeper. And now, when I've actually come out of it and I'm starting to feel quite happy again, I have everything has become so much clearer. So I will say that, who am I? I am the result of the things that happen to me in concert with introspection, the capability of seeing myself from the outside. And I do know with certainty that there were a time in my life where I just didn't do that. I didn't see myself from the objective spectator side. I had one voice, and that was the voice that said what I wanted to be true, what I wanted to eat, what I wanted to fuck, what I wanted to do, but I didn't have much of the other thing that corrected my thoughts and corrected my actions and thoughts, and gave me the capability of seeing myself from the outside. So I will say, who am I is relative to the amount of introspection. And that is a true type of consciousness. We do not have free will. Everyone who has been addicted to something or been in love or whatever, which is of course the same thing, know that free will can go jump in the ocean. If I'm hungry and I'm walking past a kebab shop or a pizza parlor or something like that, and I can smell the fat and the cheese and the carbohydrates, my brain just goes into pizza mode. This is not a conscious choice. It is just the thing that my body do. Now, it is fantastic that we have evolved this beautiful brain from sheer coincidence. There should be nothing, almost nothing would have to happen for me not being here at all. But every single event in the universe, probably in infinity, had to happen for me to sit here today. And I'm here 80 years, maybe 100. If science are doing some great leaps, which I hope for, I may be lucky enough to being able to push death, far into the future, because I have a lot to do. I have a lot of paintings to do, books I want to write. I have all these things. So yeah. But yeah, I'm taking a sip of my coffee. I'm talking like a crazy person now. So what I also notice is that when I it's like the painting. Why do I paint? Why do anything? Life is meaningless, okay? Well, when I paint, I connect with myself. If I, for some reason, can't get anything done, I get really depressed. And I get anxious, I get restless, and I don't really know where to put myself. And as I say, in the beginning, painting and stuff like that was something I did, but now it has become something I am. It is the thing I am. Could I do other things if I lost my hands or my eyesight or stuff like that? Yeah, I could write books, I could talk, I could do all kinds of shit, because but it would be a loss that would demand an enormous amount of soul searching. I don't like that word, I'm an atheist, but there we are, cliches. Don't be a cliche. I also say that, don't be a cliche. So I could do other things. When it comes to the great love, or the love of your life, and blah blah blah, that is now life. The love of my life now is life. And it's so centered in how I think, how I paint, how I spend my day, my training. It is so... It has become something holistic. And I know I'm not finished. I'm not finished yet. By a long shot, I have to become a better painter. I have to get my shit together when it comes to spending money. I have to be better to train my brain not to suffer from constant distraction, because my brain is extremely easily distracted, because I have the typical ADHD type of brain, which is just on 24 fucking 7. and it tend to be sometimes so overwhelming that I just want to escape. And what do you escape through? You escape through buying stuff, or training too much, or eating too much, or it used to be partying too much. And the solution is always the painting. It's always the flow and the focus. So who am I? Who am I? I am work in progress and my introspection. I remember there was a time where I didn't understand the difference between objective reality and subjective opinion. And the state I was in mentally is the normal state most people are in. That's why you have religion, you have political parties, you have all these niches which people drop themselves into, and it becomes a prison. It is every time you decide that something is true and you don't check the facts, or you take comfort in other people, in consensus, you will stop yourself from evolving into something that is actually you. You can't ask the question, who am I, unless you are critical and are thinking critical. And it's very hard to understand what I'm talking about, because you have to understand, you have to feel it and be there to actually understand it. Because most people will say that they are conscious and they are thinking about it. When you actually start to talk to them and you drag things out, you see that their bias is overwhelmingly overwhelming their capability of think outside their own box. And that's also the problem with the human mind. We have such a strong bias that even the most intelligent of us aren't able to see themselves objectively when it matters the most. I have an example. The other day there was a girl who asked me on Facebook, because she had some problems with painting feathers, and she asked me if I could paint a bird who was kind of flying, and I told her, well, if there was a technique to do that. And I said, no, there's not a specific technique to do that. You just paint what you see and you use the tools you have. So the problem here isn't that there is one way to paint feathers. There is a tool like a piano to play the music. But if you haven't trained yourself enough to have a vocabulary to play that music, you won't be able to do it. And I was talking to her and telling her that it isn't about finding a way to do it, it is to become a better painter, because a really good painter can paint anything. I have a skill wall. Every time I'm going to paint a face, I'm hitting that skill wall every time. It's easier for me with landscapes and objects and stuff that are a little bit more relative. But when I start doing faces or doing figures, I see that I have a skill wall. And I see it clearly because the object in front of me are very objective. So, yeah. But she started to become angry. And in the end, I'm better than you to do this and that. And I said, wow, what would that have anything to do with it? And she started out asking me for help, and then winded up with calling me a narcissist because I didn't give her the right answer. And I was also kind of pulling a leg, and there was a girlfriend who came in from the outside and started yapping, and I just told her that you don't know what you're talking about anyway. And then this narcissism thing came up, and it is so sad, because this girl will never become a better painter, because she doesn't have that objective spectator that are telling her to go study. My impression here was that she has such a big idea about herself as an artist. It was hidden before, but it came out that she doesn't really have the introspection to be self-critical enough to get better. So, and that's a very big problem for most people. And who are you actually when you do not have that humility to ask questions? I have Rembrandt, I have Vermeer, I have Turner, I have Leonardo da Vinci, I have even a friend that is brilliant. Leonardo, his name is actually Leandro, and he's brilliant. He can draw the most amazing drawings, and he's much better than me. And I know that because I know what I don't, I know what I know, and I also know what I don't know. So it is kind of becoming you is about also knowing what you don't know. You have to know enough to know what you don't know. And when you realize that, you become humble and you start to doubt yourself and you start to evolve into something that can actually be called you. And that's basically who I am. Me. Work in progress. Apes with beer, as we say. And I'm here for a while. And then I will be gone for a heck of a long time. Infinity. That's a long time. Yeah. I think that is who I am. I have a hip replacement coming up. And of course, 1 out of 80,000 dies during operation. And what scares me the most is not my own death. It is the thought of having my parents, which I really love, and my daughter and my brother, having to bury me. Especially my daughter would do fine, she's strong, and my brother, he has his own life. But my father and mother, to bury me, that scares me more than my own death. And that is strange. The thought of them burying me is just, I can't even bear it, thinking about it. Yeah. I don't know why I said that. Maybe I just want to say to my parents, I really love you, just as you know. Anyway, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. And actually, I want to read. I got this very nice comment on YouTube, which I want to read to you before I close. And I want to, since you are seeing this video on YouTube, I hope that you can start telling me how my videos actually affects your life, because it is very important. When I get a response on a video like this, and I've gotten things before also, it's really worth it. It is almost like, you know, who said that, before you have done something for humanity, you should be ashamed to die. And this becomes my contribution to humanity in a short blip of time I'm here. The name is kind of strange. I think it might be some Greek or Russian. I'm not really sure, but it's just E. It's actually under my how are you video. Well, she or he writes, I think it's she maybe. Nowadays we are all locked inside our shells, and this question has lost its real meaning. But after finding your channel and watching your amazing tutorials I'm making first steps into the sparkling world of painting. And I would be happy to ask you, how are you? My teacher, how are you, my teacher? Thank you for that wonderful knowledge you share so generously. Well, everything I talk about, now everything I have learned from your lessons will always live in my heart. I think that all changes you are talking about are just a reflection of growing up, and this transformation shows that our souls, I wouldn't use that word because I'm an atheist, I would use the word mind, but souls are becoming older and wiser, and that is very true. Something happens when you learn more, there is no doubt about that. I hope you will be fine and in good health in the near future and have a life without pain. Yeah, I've been in a lot of pain lately, not emotional pain that much, but I've been in a lot of pain because I have severe arthritis in both my hips. I actually trained my hips to pieces. I killed my hips with training. And that's the thing with this brain, that it always goes totally out when it does something. Anyway, this kind of comment really warms my heart, and my heart, it's a cliche. It really warms when somebody writes something like that and tell me directly that I actually have kind of touched them from a distance. I've touched them. I would never met that person, but I touch that person with what I do. And it's amazing. It is a gift that is just amazing. And it also gives me, the inspiration to keep posting videos and keep on painting, and I would do that anyway, but yeah, it gives me inspiration. So thank you to that person. I can't something I can't pronounce it, but thank you for that comment, and thank you for other comments also that looks like this. You see, I really appreciate it. And yeah, I think I've covered most. It's almost a half-an-hour video. It was supposed to be 10 minutes. It really, really, really warms to know that I touch people with what I do. There's a couple of things you have to, if you're a young artist, stay away from too much alcohol or drugs and stuff. It will kill it, guaranteed. Keep your body healthy. Don't overdo it like me, but keep it healthy. And because you do not have a body, you are a body. Remember, it's interlocked. So take care of the computer so the software can run smoothly. That's very important, because who am I? I am the software, the memories in my head, but I'm also the brain, which is actually neurons connected up there, who creates me. Who are you? Yeah, and with this, I will ask you to give the video a thumbs up, share it on social media, of course leave a comment, tell me what you think. You can also give me a request on videos. If you want to see something, tell me, I can maybe make it. If you want me to engage with your work, your artwork on a personal level, you can become a patron. There's a link in the description and on my channel. You can go and see that. There's also a monthly price for my paintings, one painting. So and I will also post patron only videos there, which is also coming up. So yeah, and you find playlists and stuff, and yeah. Okay, stay cool and happy. As I say, I'm now 51 and I'm hoping after my surgery I will have no pain, more energy, and live a happy life and engage with it the best way I can and take care of my daughter and me and life and my big cup of coffee. It's actually a teacup, but I use it for drink coffee. Love that cup. Anyway, okay, stay cool. Until next time.